Hey everybody, Ken Coscia here, founder of the Trust Your Intuition Academy and the lead trainer and international training director for the Silva Method. Greetings on this beautiful fall day. Today I'm live here with you from Hoffman Estates, just outside of Chicago, getting ready to deliver an immersion experience of life and intuition system here in Chicagoland. Our topic over the past 6 episodes, because this is episode number 7, and our topic has been how to activate, trust, and focus your intuition for more breakthrough living, or how to make better, wiser decisions. And I talked about there are 12 focusing principles, and today we're going to cover the last 2, most importantly, practice and points of reference. So before I go further, let me just acknowledge a few people who are just beginning to sign in. Raquel, Karen, hey, it's so great to see that you're here. Raquel, I haven't seen you forever. It's time for a review and a refresher, or go out for a coffee. Karen, I don't even remember how long it's been we've seen you. Anyway, thanks so much, guys, for the hearts. Thanks for the thumbs up. And thanks for sharing this. Because in my experience, doing this work as an avid student, avid researcher, and avid teacher, going now into my 46th year, hard to believe. I started when I was 20. Let me see a few other people. Maciek, hey, Maciek. And Maria, just want to certainly acknowledge you folks for joining, your precious time. This is an important topic. I think it's perhaps one of the most important topics currently for us, because boy, there's whether you call it intuition, women's intuition, gut feeling, hunch, that inner voice, that inkling, that gut feeling, remote viewing. Oh God, there's so many terms. Inner wisdom, what's in your heart. The one thing everybody agrees, no question, and all the evidence supports it, somehow, someway, you and I can access a body of knowledge, a stream of consciousness, insights, inspiration, ideas, innovative ideas that go beyond, that transcend our conscious awareness, that transcend our normal objective mode of consciousness. Things like logic, reasoning, verbal communication, show me the money, where are the facts. Let me just take a look more. Deanna, President of Silva International. Hello, Deanna. Thank you for gracing me with your presence. I missed a few other people. Let me just say hello, Maria and others. When you're watching the replay, if I haven't acknowledged your presence and you've signed on, please excuse me, because the screen is so small that I can barely see it unless I put these magnifiers on. So anyway, guys, great to have you on board. Again, to go back to this topic, I want to be clear about this. Before we go into today's 2 focusing principles, there's been also a lot of discussion about right brain, left brain. Since 1980, when Professor George Orwell and Robert Ornstein did their breakthrough research, and then it became commercialized. Well, if you look at what science has to say, particularly neuroscience, it's more of a metaphor. But the fact remains that we have the ability, what some have likened to left brain mode of thinking, logic, reasoning, verbal skills, analysis, the show me the money, the accountant or business manager within. Very important. It's important that we can do assessments, that we can do risk assessments. It's important we look at the facts. It's important we gather all the facts we can. It's important that we then weigh our options, the pluses, the minuses. Absolutely. And equally as important is, what do you do when you don't have all the facts? What do you do when, like on the internet these days, there's so much misinformation? It's interesting. We just finished in the U.S. a political race. I don't know what to call it. And it's so funny, isn't it? You gotta laugh. How during the race, during the campaign, there's so many promises, there's so many statements. And as soon as it's over, people begin to change. They begin to realize they promised too much. I'm not knocking it. I understand it's tough position to be in. My point, though, is how do I know that what we're hearing is indeed something reliable we can trust, we can count on? There are a lot of limitations. Even seeing your physician, how do you know that it's the best possible course of action for you? Frankly, you don't, and they don't either. So when it comes to intuition, when we can integrate our intuition with our logic, when we can go transcend our logic, our reasoning, and gather more insight, feeling, thought, whatever you want to call it, that in itself will make you so much more powerful. So on the call are some coaches I know. Isaiah, oh, by the way, guys, you got to follow this guy, Isaiah. He's a very cool dude. I met him where did we meet? Isaiah, I met him outside of San Jose a couple of years ago, doing some really good work for our spiritual awareness. And by the way, intuition is an intermediary step, according to the Sufis, according to wisdom teaching, to our spiritual knowledge, to our spiritual bank of knowledge, to our inner wisdom. It's one of those steps we take for that. So if you're a coach, any kind of coach, you know the importance of connecting with your people more deeply and hearing them deeply, listening very deeply so that you get to the truth, you get to the facts, and you know what they're really saying and feeling. Let me just, I know, it was a Brendan's Bouchard. Anyway, Isaiah, one day we got to get on the phone and catch up. Those of you who forgive me saying that, it's just part of, I think, Facebook Live is let's be authentic, let's be genuine. And I love people. I love you guys, I met, and you really, you bless me, you honor me with your presence, and I just really want to acknowledge that. And I'm privileged to be a teacher for all these years, and to help hundreds of thousands of people in 30 nations, last count I heard. And I get to work with our team of instructors. I get to mentor people who do the same. We're the Silva Method in 100 and something countries. So it's a really important role. I have to say that I've often found that when people tell me they want to be an instructor, they want to be a trainer, and they have credentials and they have a beautiful, big, long resume, I often use my intuition. And I've gotten to the point where in 5 minutes of being with them, I can determine whether, most of the time, whether they're going to make it, whether they have what it takes, whether they're the kind of person I'm looking for. Kata, hey, Kata. So let me just take off my glasses because I was on a roll there. Let me get back to it. You get the idea. Entrepreneurs, and maybe some entrepreneurs on the call, you guys are always making decisions. You guys are always taking risks. But wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be fantastic if you could take chances, right? But with a higher degree of success. That you could even, the platform, take your instinct to a whole nother level. Of course. How about in just your relationships with people? So often, dear friends, you say, hey, you okay? Oh, yeah, I'm fine. And you feel like you can cut the tension with a knife. I mean, you get what I'm saying. I know you do. Some of you, I'm talking to the choir. But this is why I think it's such an important topic, because things are not always what they appear to be. We don't have always the facts. We don't have always the information, the details. So we really need a balance of the two. And it is my hope, my intention. We can work with that. So let's just review briefly some of these focusing principles that we've been looking at. Sergey from Ukraine. Wow, that's what's so cool about social media, that we get to connect people from all over the world, people I've met when I was in the Ukraine, what was it, 2013. I look forward to coming back. You guys rock, and our director there, Angela Skribna, is outstanding presenter. Anyway, these focusing principles, the interest here is how in the world can you trust your intuition, let alone focus it, if first of all it's sleeping, it's dormant, and second of all, if you don't know, if I don't know, we don't know, if I can really trust it? Is it genuine insight? Quick example, I like using this story. It's for you entrepreneurs, business people, salespeople. In my coaching practice, I'm working with some people building their business in sales, and some salespeople, and I've been specializing in that, working with intuition, by the way. Anyway, and one of the women came to me. She's in California. I don't have permission, so I'm not going to use her name. But she sells office supplies, put it that way. And she went into a funk, and her sales dropped off to maybe a couple of $100 a week. In just 2 weeks of working and activating her intuition and fine-tuning, she got it up to $1,100 for the week. Pretty cool, huh? I'm thrilled. Did I do that? No, she did it. I'm just her coach, her mentor, teaching her skills, helping her to fine-tune it with that. So here's another one. Some years back, I remember reading, there's a businessman, entrepreneur, and he's in the shower, and he has this idea to market stuffed pandas. Now, you may have heard me tell this story before. It's so cool, I just wanted to share it. So what happened? He went to his advisors, he went to his investors, he went to his team, I guess, and they all poo-pooed it, thought, the teddy bear's got a corner of the market, especially in America. Who the heck knows what a panda is? This goes back a few decades. Well, he felt so strong about it, so he just was convinced that he sunk his own money. Nobody would invest with him. He went ahead, started manufacturing stuffed pandas. And at the same time, during that time, Richard Nixon was president of the U.S. He went abroad to China. You know where I'm going with this. And came back with a newfound interest in Chinese culture. And America especially is very trendy like that. And almost overnight, zoos throughout America, especially in D.C., you know, the National Zoo and so on, began to what? Import from China their animal, their native animal, the panda. And all of a sudden, America became infatuated with pandas. And his sales went through the roof. Talk about timing. All it takes, guys, is one idea like that. So I want to encourage you, trust your ideas, follow through, and also get the facts. Seek help, get training, work with a consultant, whatever it might be. You know, it's not just intuition, it's both. My specialty happens to be helping you integrate it, yes, and helping you to activate and trust your intuition. That's what I've done with hundreds of thousands of people all these years. The program that I work with, the Silva Method, Life and Intuition System, is an incredibly powerful tool that is the most copied, most imitated, and some of the biggest thought leaders you've heard of that are all over social media have gotten their roots, their start, their kickoff, you might say, in what they learned in the program. So it's a step-by-step, skills-based program helping you to learn to trust, activate, and focus your intuition. Anyway, I digress. So the two principles I want to focus on today are points of reference and the importance of practice. You know, it's kind of obvious. But let me just review, and I saw some other people saying hello here. Let me just go back. I missed a few people. Kata and others. Hey, feel free to share this with other people, by the way. Very cool. So in prior episodes, in episodes 1 through 6, we looked at, there are 12 focusing principles I developed for you. And these principles are how you activate your intuition, how you awaken it, how you stimulate it, and eventually help you to learn how to trust it and distinguish between wishful thinking and intuition you can count on, or fear-based thinking and intuition you can count on. So some of the principles were relaxation, the importance of staying relaxed, calm, and focused, even under pressure, which is the most common way to activate insights. Having a clear, definitive, deep value that's in alignment with your values, in alignment with your purpose, with your goals, why you want to be intuitive. We looked at also things like applications. You got to then start, this helps develop your value, you know, get it in alignment. How are you going to apply your intuition? How are you going to integrate it into your life, personally, professionally? The importance of practice, the importance of paying attention to that voice, listening. So for example, paying attention and embracing your strengths. Some people are visual and they have visual imagery, pictures, ideas coming in like that. In parapsychology, it's called clairvoyance or clairvoyance. It basically means clear vision, comes from the French. Some people are auditory and they actually hear what seems like a voice. I'm not talking, you know what, It's a legitimate skill that some people dominantly have. And you hear them say things like, I hear you, man. I hear you loud and clear. And that's called clairaudience, clear hearing. Some people are kinesthetic, like myself. I mean, I'm actually all of them now because I've worked on this for so many years. I'm still dominantly kinesthetic, clairsentient, or clairsentience, clear feeling. It's when you have those feelings in your gut, or you just can feel the chemistry changing your body, or you just have this inkling, this knowledge. For example, today, I flew in early in the morning from Hartford, Connecticut, here to Chicagoland. Like I told you, tomorrow I'm going to be doing my Silva Immersion experience. And it's an easy flight. I'm at baggage claim, walked over and waiting. And all the signs on the reader board, it said baggage claim will be carousel number 8. Usually it's 9, so number 8. So there I am at number 8, but I kept looking over at a couple down, actually number 7, but it's so huge and big that it's actually a little bit of a distance away. And I kept having this feeling, this thought about it, and I kept looking over there, even though clearly the sign right on baggage claim number 8 said Hartford, Connecticut, coming in the bags. And I'm waiting. 10 minutes goes by and I'm looking over, and as I look over carousel number 7, a little bit of a distance, I looked and kind of squinted, put on my glasses, and I thought I saw my bags, one of them, because I had a distinguishing marker on it. Went a little closer, and sure enough, on carousel number 7, just like I had I don't know why, I just kind of had that thought. There was no reason. Everything told me logically, right on the reader board, carousel number 8. And lo and behold, I was there, called up the taxi, and here I am. Simple thing, but boy, it saved me a lot of time and frustration. So what about you? How many times has logic, has reasoning, have the facts, have right before your very eyes, it says one thing, but you feel contrary to it. You have a contrary thought. I'm sure it's happened more than a few times. So honor, embrace your strength, and pay attention. So this is important. I want to go back over that. Pay attention to where you're in flow, where it seems to come easiest. Hey, thanks for that. Katarina, hey, howdy. Thanks for joining. Thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for the hearts, guys. Glad you're here. So again, honor yourself and avoid comparing to other people. I have to tell you, with due respect, so many people have written books. Everybody and their mother says, trust your intuition, trust your intuition. And there are people who are well-published authors, best-selling authors. They fall short of clearly telling us how to develop it. And we listen to their stories of how intuitive they are. Well, you're just as intuitive. You're just maybe not as practiced, not as skilled. It's a trust muscle. It really is a muscle. And you can develop that muscle by practicing, which is another. You got to be detached to the outcome. You got to be clear and not be obsessive, because if you're obsessive, that creates tension, anxiety, and that will block the flow. You got to also, it's important that there's honesty and you dare to be naive, because sometimes you feel silly. Yes, Isaiah, I hear what you're saying. Rational, spiritually, logical, intuition, clairvoyant, sentient. Thanks for the sharing, brother. You're welcome, brother. And there's more. I love this. This has been my specialty. Whenever any of our instructors across the globe have difficulty in this segment of the Silva training, because we spend 4 days, I'm their man, I'm their guy, we're on Skype, or I'm there helping them, assisting. And I want to say too, it's important that your values, your purpose is in alignment with why you do this, in other words. And I'll tell you, those who remember my story, I think it was episode 5 or 6. I don't recall exactly which one it was. But in that episode, I talked about my story. I've got a lot of stories. But I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, with parents who were dirt poor, and my father was a gambler. And my parents, and I was raised for nothing. We were dead broke. We were getting care packages. I'm the youngest in my family. My brothers and sisters are 15 years older. By the time I was 8, my father was doing a whole lot better, and we moved. The building I grew up in was condemned, and we moved to a nicer part of Brooklyn, Bay Ridge, that is, in Brooklyn. But the long story short, if you heard my story, was not so funny. I watched, sad as it was, my father go from nothing to everything, having more than he could spend, taking great care of us, traveling, putting me through college, Boston University, with no loans, no debt, God bless him. And then he lost everything from gambling, because gamblers get caught up in wishful thinking. They want to make a big killing. They want to just hit that home run. And I watched his buddies, my uncles, guys I grew up with. I didn't play games with my father and his buddies. I didn't go to, play baseball with them or go for walks. We went to the racetrack. I was always trailing behind at the racetrack, card games. It's an interesting childhood to have, by the way. But I got to tell you, I learned a lot. I learned how to do risk assessments, and I learned how to discern from the BS. I got a great BS meter, and it's helped me a lot with my intuition. And it's helped me make a living out of doing what I love and not selling out and being in integrity and putting three kids through college. And we're not, wealthy. We're not incredibly rich. We have a really nice life, a comfortable, modest lifestyle. I live in Connecticut, and I'm not bragging. I'm just saying you can do it too. We don't have to sell out. We can be true to our convictions with that. So part of why I do this, if you're so passionate, is I hope I can help you prevent yourself from getting caught up in wishful thinking. It's not fun, guys. I admit I was traumatized watching my dad. He lost everything, the house, all his money, all his savings. And I grew up overnight, because in the back of my mind in my younger years always was, hey, if this work I'm doing with Silva doesn't work out, I can always live with them, go back to them, they'll take care of me. And when all that happened, boy, it was a kick in the butt, and I had to get really skillful, and I had to learn, because I was so into the value, the fun of it, that I had no business sense. I nearly went bankrupt 3 times. I nearly lost everything myself, because I wasn't using my business training in business school, because I went from engineering to business school. So I went through the school of hard knocks, and I've learned to do that, and now I mentor people the same. So that's the quick review. Let me say hello to a couple of people. Marek, hey. Some others, I missed some other guys. I appreciate you guys here. I appreciate you being here too. So, episode number 7, we're reviewing. This is Ken Coscia. Those of you just signing in or watching, I'm the founder of the Trust Your Intuition Academy, fairly new. I'm also the lead trainer and international training director for the Silva Method, going into my 46th year doing this work. This is my specialty with that, and I'm glad you're here. So let's talk about points of reference and having the right training and practice. So the points of reference and the practice go hand in hand. They're important to work together. So like any skill, the more you practice, and you want deliberate practice. And what I mean by that is you got to have your goals, your intention in alignment with your values. What's your big why? And make sure that it's in alignment with what's important to you in your life. What you value, who you value, the quality of life, etc. Cannot overestimate that. And then the practicing with applications, playing games. For example, I could say to you now, a quick little game. Hey guys, I'm thinking of a fruit. What fruit am I thinking of? And I am thinking of one right now. What color is it? What's its size and shape? How does it smell? For those of you who thought red, green on the outside, you're right. Watermelon. Whether you did or not, but silly games like that really help us hone our skill by practicing. You're in a hotel or a building with lots of elevators. Boy, some elevators in Chicago, some elevators in New York City or Boston, where I hail, spend a lot of time. They have so many elevators, some of these huge buildings. I often go in and say, okay, what elevator is going to come first? It's kind of funny and kind of cool how often I'm right there. Or I just instinctively walk to the right elevator. Not a big deal. Yeah, I know somebody got to sign off. I always attempt to keep these short, but I get rolling, so there'll be a replay. Come back to some cool stuff for you. But anyway, it's a way practicing like that. Think of things. In my Trust Your Intuition Academy, there's a really, really, really cool workshop that with Jose Silva's blessings. Jose Silva, I had the pleasure to be mentored by him. He's the genius visionary who started in 1944. 22 years researching hypnosis, meditation, positive thinking, psychology, you name it. And he put together, based on 22 years, a very precise step-by-step program. And I'm one of his earliest instructors. I came on board in 1971. He was a buddy, a friend. And this man developed a program that I have used as a foundation. It has inspired me. And a lot of the work I do has been built on that. And back in 1986, I was talking with him and his brother Juan Silva because we were looking for ways that we could make more fun. We do a lot of medical intuition work, by the way. We have a deliberate practice in our program that'll knock your socks off. But we're looking to lighten it up a bit. So the long story short is, I had an idea. I presented it coincidentally at the same time. They said, gee, we were just thinking about this. We need something. And here I was with a proposal. So needless to say, I got their approval and I put together this program called Intuition in You, what the marketing people, our friends at Mind Valley, call the lost sense. And that's just marketing language, but it's really not a lost sense. I mean, it seems like it's lost because people bury it. People don't pay attention to it. So by practicing, you pay attention. By practicing, you hone the skill. So play some, and I put together all sorts of games. It's a fun, lighthearted, and it follows these focusing principles. We go through in deep depth. It's over 4 hours. There's guided meditations and applications. Self-awareness, how to understand yourself better, how to focus on your strengths, how to get clear about your purpose, how to get clear about what you want. There are some meditations to help you create the 7-step process to enhance your creativity, to make better decisions. There are some exercises to help you understand meditations, and also exercises to tune in with other people, and just some fun. And I say this to you because during that we talk about points of reference, the other focusing principle. So what the heck is a point of reference? It's kind of like a marker. It's like a coat hook. It's something that we can look at to help us discern the difference, to make the distinction, to understand, is this a hunch, a feeling, a thought that I can trust? Or is it me just wishfully thinking like those gamblers can that you grew up with? Or is it fear? Angela, hi Angela. This is the woman I was talking about before from the Ukraine, our director there. I've had the pleasure to mentor her, to work with her team. She is an outstanding presenter. All of our Silva presenters are outstanding. I'm not just singling her out, but she's on here now with me, and I'm honored by your presence, Angela, and we're part of a team together working with that. But anyway, to go back to this idea of points of reference. So you understand it's a marker. So the point of reference is, how about this as an example? I live now in New England, here in the US. And when the Farmer's Almanac, or my local farmers, my property is flanked by 2 small working farms, and when these guys tell me we're going to have a real typical New England winter, I know automatically, because I've been here, for better than 40 years, and actually I was raised in the New York area, I know what that means. Lots of snow, ice, and sub-zero weather. Cold. Take out your booties, take out your gloves and your hats and all the layers. So that's a point of reference. I know how to prepare for it. I know what to expect. That's what a point of reference is. It's wisdom based on your life's experience, based on experiences you've had. Have you ever taken hot coffee? You remember the woman who sued McDonald's because of the hot coffee burnt her? Well, if ever you've taken, because a lot of times these fast food places, the coffee is really super hot. And if you sip it too quickly, what happens? You burn the roof of your mouth. It hurts. If you've ever done that before, you now have wisdom. You now have a point of reference. You now have a distinction that the next time, if you find yourself in that similar situation, you know, chill out, hold off, blow on it, wait, because you don't want to get burnt. Make sense? That's what a point of reference is. So with our intuition, points of reference, weighing it. So these gamblers I spoke of before, I watched these guys. And by the way, there are professional gamblers who are quite cool and pretty amazing what they do. But they also use a lot of math. They also use, my father when he was in his prime was incredible with numbers and with projections ahead. I'm actually pretty good too. I've had that skill, and it's helped save my business. It's helped save me from not making crazy investments. And that's just how I mentor my team of instructors, how to build, an ethical practice, a spiritual practice, and thrive. Because, we deserve to thrive, and you want to help your family and loved ones. But I tell you, there's a delicate balance, because sometimes people do sell out, and sometimes people get greedy, and sometimes people lose sight of their mission. Companies do it all the time. You've seen it. I'm not going to mention names, but there are companies, there are organizations, tech companies, when they go commercial, when they get, on the stock market perhaps, and now they're answering to stockholders, investors, how sometimes they, I don't know if it's fair to say they lose their soul, but they get a little more distant from it. And what happens is customer service suffers, quality suffers. We've seen that with some of the coffee companies. I'm not mentioning names, but you can figure it out. Be aware of that. So how about you in your own business? How about you in your own practice? How about you in what you do? So a point of reference helps us to stay tuned in. A point of reference helps us to make those distinctions. So the next time, what you want to do is, when you have a gut feeling, a hunch, like what happened to me today, I journaled it or I talk about it, and that helps me mark it. That helps me to acknowledge and pay attention to it. And the next time I mess up, the next time I screw up or make a mistake, pay attention to that. Give yourself permission not to be perfect. However, pay attention. And what's the difference that made the difference? Was it a feeling? Was it a thought? Was it a sound, a voice? Was it a visual pattern? Pay attention to that and begin to look for the patterns of when you're correct and when you're not. And by the way, I would be honored to be your trainer. I highly recommend, go to my trustyourintuition.com. And in fact, as a courtesy to you, my friends who have honored with your presence, for the next few days up through Sunday, I'm offering it, my Dynamic Meditations bundle and the Trust Your Intuition, or the Lost Sense, which is the home study that you can work with online, 50% off. I mean, I don't usually play games like that, but you've honored me with your presence. You're here. I know you're interested. So I'm offering that to you to make it a little bit easier for you to say yes, because it's that important. It'll help you. It can only help. It'll give you more. And your family and friends who have no background will also enjoy it, because I've very skillfully put it together so that whether you're here and you want to take it to another level, or you're here in your development of your intuition, you'll find it useful. The more you practice, the better you get. So work with it. My best advice would be take the Silva training. Anywhere in the world, or all over the world, Silva Life and Intuition System is the most current, the most up-to-date program, although in some parts of the world, some of our team are still offering the basic lecture series, which is outstanding. It's the original program. And Silva Life and Intuition System is that foundation program plus about 40% more content, more applications, more practice sessions, more practical use. So anyway, that'd be the best advice. Let me say hello to a few other people. Adina, hi Adina. Manuel Garcia, and boy, I missed a whole bunch of people. Ina and Edie, make sure I said that correct, and others, and Barbara J. Coscia, my beautiful wife, my partner, the woman who's put up with me for 38 years that we've been married. Talk about intuition, boy. She probably had to use a lot of her intuition for that. And anyway, so you get the idea. What we're just talking about, points of reference and practicing. Make it a game. Have fun with it, guys. It's just that important for that. So I hope you're finding this useful. We're going to change the topic. I'm going to come back with some more Facebook Lives. I'm working. If you want more videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's in my name. And I'm putting more and more videos out there that not necessarily are on Facebook, we may not find, but you have access to them 24/7. So there's a lot of free content. And by the way, I am very happy to say my videos, there's not a lot of bells and whistles, but there's a lot of really solid content, useful information, skills-based. Most of my videos I don't know if I've ever made one for 3 minutes or even maybe 6 or 7 minutes, but those are just hello, how are you type. But most of them are 18 to 20 something minutes, almost 30. Sorry for that. I know it's supposed to be short, but when I'm teaching and there's content and there's a lot of skills, I want to give you as much as I can. And you're going to find the same thing with the intuition in you, the lost sense, on my Trust Your Intuition Academy. And by the way, there's a coupon. So those of you who stayed on, the coupon for the offer is very simple. You just type in, I trust my intuition. I trust my intuition. And that will automatically make it available. You'll save 50%. And it's only there until this Sunday, and then I am taking it down and it'll be done. And then again, that's a courtesy to you. Thanks for being here. So guys, this has been fantastic sharing with you. Remember, you are far more than what you appear to be. In fact, you're better. And you have a choice in life. You have wisdom. You have skills. And there's help. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, get help. If you're feeling stuck, get help. Whoever it may be, I'd be thrilled to be that person to help and assist you. However, you're not alone. There are so many great coaches out there and people wanting to help and to guide you, to guide us for that. Because you are far more than you appear to be. You're better. And life can be so much better than it is when you take the time to recognize that and take action and do something. Because nothing's going to happen unless you take action. So if you say, hey, that's a great offer, Ken, great idea. Well, that's nice. But nothing will change unless you take action. Jarek, I'm going to say a few more people on. Thanks. Thank you for sending me lots of warmth. I send you guys lots of warmth and love. And I'm going to say so long for now until the next time.